don't care how bored or how stale it feels right now, Jestoni, just keep going, you know? 100%. I've burnt myself out so many times, but I also picked myself back up so many times. 17 at the time, like, wow. I was too scared to cut hair because I was like, I can never do that. It's also manifestation plus action, you know? You can't just talk all this, like, whatever, but not take the steps into getting there, right? 67% is how you make them feel. Is absorb as much knowledge as you can as a barber. Try to find a good mentor and get in a barber shop. Because the basement cuts are cool until you have a whole bunch of cash and you don't know what to do with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Two for Eyes podcast, aka the #1 podcast in Winnipeg, where we document the rise and stardom of Winnipeg's talent and personalities. Do you know what it's like to achieve a goal that you manifested for a long time? I know we definitely have, and so does today's guest. Today we sit down with Jestoni, a content creator and a Winnipeg barber who has created waves through his daily content series. We talk about the world of barbering, the business, how to get clients in the chair, and just overall motivation and being that dog. If you're motivated and if you have a goal that you want to chase, this is the episode for you. As always, please hit that subscribe button. Turns out 84.3% of people listening are not subscribed. Gives us a reason to continue chasing our dream, just like our guest today. And I will see you next week. Enjoy the episode.
So, like, I don't know, I've been cutting hair for 4 years, almost bleeding to 5. Started when I was 18.
Okay.
I used to actually run track at the U of M.
Really?
But I was still cutting hair at the time. And I actually dropped out of university because what like made me drop out was I won this hair competition that Regan Tran held called the All-City Barber Battle.
Yeah.
And it was the very first one. And I was in the 18 under competition. I was probably about like 5 months cutting at the time, I think. Then like I knew everybody there was more experienced than me. I was just like under Scott, like Famos, right?
Yeah.
Because like he took me in when I straight out of high school because I was working there for collecting like hours for school, like 100 hours to earn 1 grade 12 credit.
Okay.
So I was just kicking it there to like sweep in, saying hi to customers, you know, doing all like the maintenance work for the shop, secretary stuff. And then one day Scott put a pair of clippers in my hand and was like, here you go. Then over here, I just like the lifestyle. I saw Chink the Barber, saw all these cool barbers, cool sneakers. You know, I'm 17 at the time. I'm like, wow. But I was too scared to cut hair because I was like, I can never do that because it was like, yo, like if you mess up on someone's hair, then it's game over. But like, I called one of my best friends, like Aaron. I was like, yo, I'm gonna cut your hair. And then like he let me cut his hair. Obviously, I obviously messed up, but I kept on going with the pair of clippers Scotty gave me. Then which bled into like that barber battle. Scotty was like, you should join it. And I was like, I guess I'm joining it. So I took my best model, the one that I actually knew how to cut his hair. I was still inexperienced and didn't really know how to like fade or cut the top or do all like the actual overall look. But I knew this one guy that can cut properly and make it look decently cool and presentable and kind of like more unique than the other competitors I was against because I knew what they were coming in. I just knew how to prep my model the best.
Okay.
So then I ended up entering the competition. I won it.
Let's go.
Then after, I ended up like dropping out because like, hey, I think this is for me, you know. I didn't want to run track no more. Like I was, because I'm a more all in type person. If I'm gonna do one thing, you might as well go all in on it, right? Then that happened. So yeah, ever since then I've been just grinding and working, but getting better every day, learning through Scott and my peers around me, going to workshops around like Canada. Then taking mentorship programs. The first one I took mentorship program was 2024. In 2023, I took this mentorship program where to help you scale your business to like, you know, 10, 20K. And then I spent for the program, it was like about 10,000 Canadian. And like, I was like, I have a decent amount of money on me, but like I was selling commission at the shop. So obviously whatever I was making was getting split.
Yeah.
So but then like I just full on sent it, then that helped me grow my business. Because the way it would help you grow your business was through content. But my content didn't end up popping off until maybe like I joined another mentorship program. I stopped that one because like I just don't want the mindset was a bit different in that one, and I just didn't like how it went. But it did help me create better videos and kind of like propel me towards this program, which was more towards my like goal and aesthetic. And like how I wanted to portray myself in the barber industry.
Got you.
So
let's break the story down a little bit. So in high school, you weren't cutting, or you were beginning to cut, and like, you were like, what do you like? Did you go to? You said you were like just interning at the
interning for like some random like classroom program that I had to go to earn one grade 12
So what's the
credit.
class like? Is it like were you at like a trade school or like was this
No,
just
it was
like
just some regular
just regular?
high school class called LifeWorks where
Okay.
you would have to like make a resume, enter a job.
How sure.
So it could be wherever. I picked Saint because I wanted, honestly, at the time I was running track
Uh-huh.
and my barber left for the military, so I wanted free haircuts. So I knew who to look for. I was like, yo, Famos. I saw the amount of followers he had. I saw his work, and I was like, all right, I'll finesse my way in
He
here.
bought you in. Eh?
Yeah, I'll finesse my way in here. I'm gonna sweep my way into getting free haircuts. You know?
Damn.
So
Damn. So that's how you got into the barber journey.
pretty much, yeah, I swept my way in.
So did
Literally.
you take any classes? Like, did you ever go to like barber school, or like you just learned by just
Yeah.
practicing? Or
So after university, no, after I won that barber battle, I dropped out of university. Then I entered hair school the night of, because I already knew, and I actually had a presentation the next day. I still went to it. I still did my like blah 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 whatever for like fine arts school whatever. Right?
Yeah.
I showed my little drawing off, but like I knew that like it was gonna be my farewell. Be like, okay, this is my drawing. I'm gonna get out of here
Yeah.
after
Clocked
this.
out.
Yeah, because I spent like 20 hours on this drawing. I had to show it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What was that decision? Like how'd you come up with the decision of like, listen, this is not for me. I want to do this full time or I want to go into this. Like that's a tough decision to make. Not everyone can just wake up. I know sometimes we have the 2 a.m. kind of motivation. Was this like a 2 a.m. motivation kind of thing or was this something that was building over time? You're
was-
like, hey, I'm gonna drop out.
there's nothing in the back of my head because I was interning. I wasn't really cutting hair, right?
Yeah.
Like I really just started picking up hair clippers my last month of high school.
Okay.
Like the very last month, people were asking me for grad cuts. I was cutting them up for like $5. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how they were coming to me for grad cuts because I was messing everyone up. It was literally like, the last 3 weeks of high school is when I did my first haircut, and I was just like, all right. I saw this picture on my phone of my friend Devin, and like there's a fat line in his head, but like he's posting up with my other friend Zach, and I'm like, I mean, as long as they liked it at the time,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all
I think
good.
he's fresh, but he's like,
Yeah. But like honestly, it is what it is. That's how you grow. That's how you learn, right? By taking those steps, being confident, even though you're not, you're not there yet, but being like, hey, I know where I want to go, but I gotta like walk like I know I'm gonna go there. Like I'm gonna present myself like I'm already there, but obviously in a way where it's like not too like out there. I don't know how to explain. It's a fine line of like,
you're manifesting it.
yeah, you manifest. I literally have it on my wrist. My first tattoo when I was 18 or 19, I got manifest because everything I manifest like always comes into play. But like the way you manifest and the way you believe in yourself is also, it's also manifestation plus action. You know what I mean? You can't just talk all this like whatever, but not like take the steps into getting there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense because you go on the fine line you're talking about because you want to be confident in yourself, but you also
Yeah.
don't want to be cocky and arrogant.
Exactly.
You don't want to come off of that. Although in your mind you may be like, "Yo, I'm the best in the city," but you don't want to be like. You also want to prove it. You got
Yeah,
room
exactly.
to prove it, right?
And I feel like it's so easy for people to like get offended by that. But at the same time, I know a lot of people who are like, yeah, you just have to find the fine line. And some people may take it differently, some people may not. But like when I see people like that, I take it as like, okay, bet, let's go.
Let's go run it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Because I love like seeing people do their thing and like kind of talk their shit because it fuels me, you know? But obviously the biggest thing is action, right? That's the number one key thing. If you're gonna talk your shit, you better be backing that shit up heavy because, if you ain't you're just look goofy, you know. And like
100%.
honestly, you're gonna lose respect. And I feel like the biggest thing is obviously being respectful is really big too, right? Because like,
Well, I mean, running track in university, right? Like, bro, every kid's dream is to be a college athlete, or
Yeah.
like university athlete. You're living the dream. You're running track. You're going to fine arts, right?
yeah.
And then all of a sudden you just drop out. What was that like to your parents? I mean,
Oh.
explaining that to your parents.
I think my parents didn't even like the fact that I was like really cutting hair. You know, they wanted me, always typical Asian parents, immigrant from what I've had around me is like, I want you to go to nursing school and do all of that like shebang, which is understandable, right? But I knew deep down inside me that I'm like an artist, I'm a creative, right? But then I just didn't know how to show the world that I'm creative and I love doing art, you know? So I knew cutting hair was kind of that like vehicle to help me to find what I really want to do. And I'm not sure if I know I want to cut hair for the rest of my life, but I'm not sure if I want to be doing like creative hair art, education, or that just yet. I just know that I like documenting my stuff.
Yeah.
I just like cutting hair and meeting new people and like trying new trendy styles, honestly.
Yeah. Where did this mindset come from? Like you're 17 years old. You're like, I'm gonna finesse my way into the barbershop. I'm gonna do that. Even fast forward a little bit, you're in school. You're like, yo, I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna cut out. I'm gonna drop out and I'm gonna do this. Where did this mindset come from? Was this something that you had like when you were a child? You were like playing on the playgrounds. Like where was there a moment that you can think back to where you're like, this is who I am and I want to be the best at what I do?
I think it was coming from like just track and playing sports and like being around people who are always like talking shit and like being that environment. I'm just like, okay, bet like, you know, when you're younger, you're a bit shorter, you always get picked on, whatever, blah blah blah. It's like you have more to prove. I think that's came from me. I got more to prove, and I just want to like, when I started proving my stuff, that's when people started getting more inspired and trying to like, you know, mimic what I do. And I'm like, wow, I'm actually kind of semi-inspiring someone. Okay, it's kind of cool. So it turned into like, first trying to prove myself, but now like it turned into inspiring somebody. So like, I think I remember like the biggest manifestation was when I was like in track. I was trying to jump 6 meters, and like I think it was in grade 9, and I jumped it because I manifested so heavy in bed. I was like, yo, I'm gonna jump 6 meters. I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna do it. Then I ended up jumping it. I got a clap going. Everyone's doing their thing. It was a big track meet. I think it was Boeing, something like that. At the U of M. Little me, grade 9, just like running. Then everybody was like the whole like everybody at Sanford was like wild, and it was honestly a surreal experience, and like I think that's what kind of propelled it, you know.
Have you ever had the opposite side of manifestation where it's I've had this recently. It's like you've manifested so much that like when you're in the moment, like when you're dreaming about the stuff, you're ecstatic, like you're having the best time of your life. But then when it starts happening in real life, you kind of lose that feeling of like, yo, I did this. It's like you already know how it feels like you've lived it so much where the value of achieving it's no longer like the idea of achieving it's like I don't know how to put this in words, but you lose the feeling of like, wow, I did this because you've lived the dream so much.
Yeah, I feel that a lot all the time, because like it's like what I have right now, being on a podcast like this, getting my first brand deal, ambassador deal, I'm like, and getting like the views I wanted, and people in my chair, and like being fully booked like 2 weeks in advance, and just having like I had Golden Hand Jewelry offer me $250 just to pull up, and just $250 store credit. I was like, yo, that's sick. Like small opportunities like that, and like client today gave me like, I don't even know who this guy was, but in Jerby, I think, and like he gave me a T-shirt, this fire Michael Jordan T-shirt, and I was just like, I barely talked to him in the chair, but like I said what's up, did my thing, then he just like, this is for you, and I'm like, because he's more quiet and shy, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And like I go to coffee shops sometimes, they give me free coffee. I'm like, this is like I manifested it all, but like I was just like, this is fucking happening right now. And then after, I'm just like, then obviously more money started coming in. Then after, like, obviously an opportunity for like, there's opportunity my boss offered like me in the shop to like teach a haircut at RBC. Like I always wanted to do that, like teach a class. And then after, when I was teaching that class, like I barely slept that night because I was out with my friends. It was like a Friday night. Then like I had the whole crowd engaged. Like I had everybody like engaging. It was fun. And like it was just like something I visually pictured in my head like a year ago. Like, and there's a picture of it on my phone actually. But like this thing was like,
your wallpaper?
No, my wallpaper is actually me in my basement to keep me grounded. Like, cause like I was cutting hair in my basement.
Okay, let's talk about the picture. So the picture right now is maybe you can send us it. We'll put it up.
Yeah.
But
okay.
So it says 4:25 a.m.
PM.
PM. And so walk us through that moment. What's happening there?
So this was my like probably I was probably about 2-3 months cutting in. It was like summer after high school, and like one of my friends just took a picture, and like I was cutting hair inside my room, my physical bedroom. I was cutting hair.
Hardwood floors or hardwood?
Hardwood floors, okay. Thank the Lord. But like my bedroom, I had people like 5 people in my room just waiting for haircuts. My room's like decently big, but it was like I was just like, hey, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? Like I don't care regardless. So I was cutting my hair in my room for about like 5 months, and my parents finally allowed me to like have the guest room or like the small like storage room to like cut hair and build my own studio, which obviously involved like few pictures of that. But this moment, this is young Jestoni just trying to get it. I'm still young. I'm still trying to get it. But this was the point where I like. It's like when you learn something new and you're just like, you just want to keep doing it. I'll like legit do it for 24 hours until I get it right. It was like, and that's how I felt. And I still feel that way, but I feel towards more content and more styling hair than just like trying to learn how to cut hair and like really get my first fade down.
Yeah.
It's like when you, like for cutting hair, obviously when you get the fade down, they get the lineup down, they get the overall haircut down, and you know how to make a client happy, then it's like, okay, what's the next step? Because that can keep happening and happening. You'll be fully booked, make a good amount of money, but what's the next step after that? So for right now, for me, it's like creating content that people enjoy and styling the hair because I want to educate in the future. That's kind of my plan for right now. But like it's always like steps, I feel like in life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I was jumping, running track, it was like, okay, first like how do I get my form down? How do I like get my form down? How do I run this fast, jump this far, be a team player, like do all that. So just trying to learn every step, you know. I think that's translated to cutting hair and today.
Damn.
So from that moment to what it is now, what was the process and what were the steps that you had to learn to get to where you are now, shooting your content in one of the best cutting barbershops in Winnipeg? To from that picture, you're in your bedroom.
Yeah.
5 guys waiting for you at your bed.
I was like, holy fuck. 5 guys waiting for me, and my mom was pissed, I remember. She was like, oh, wow, there's so many people in the house.
Did you tell her you were cutting hair?
I was cutting hair, but like usually I had like 1 or 2 people waiting, but I remember I had 5 to maybe 6 people waiting sometimes, and it would be insane. I'd be there till like midnight in my room, like it would be, like obviously like it's a house, but still they could hear upstairs, and like have music playing, like everyone's laughing. If you have like even 2 people or 3 people in a room in a house, you could probably hear them from upstairs.
I'm gonna be honest, my mom's in her room right now. And so like the same thing when we set this thing up, and I was like, what are you doing? I was like, chasing a dream.
Yeah.
Young kid trying to chase a dream.
Exactly.
Come on, Mom.
Exactly.
Come on, Mom. But going back to his question, from where you started to where you are now, what were the steps that you took to get there?
Obviously a lot of manifestation for sure. Like I had to visualize. I have a vision board that I always make that like, okay, I want, and people and having good mentors. My first big mentor from this picture to now where I am is Famos. He taught me what I wanted. He had what I wanted, and he was a person that I honestly aspired to be when I was like starting in the industry. Then like now obviously I still inspire to be like something, have his characteristics, but I have other mentors in the industry that I aspire to be as well. So I feel like it's always going to be a stepping stone to like find a good mentor, stay grounded, but manifest and walk into everything with like a sponge, like try to absorb all the knowledge I can, and just I just tell myself to shut the fuck up and work, honestly, like, and just learn, you know, because like that's the best thing you could do. Like obviously people have their times when they start getting things, like they become a bit arrogant and cocky, and obviously I've experienced that too, right? But like you always have people in your life that are going to check you, and those are the people that you need to listen to the most, because those people like are the people you want around you who are going to check you. Obviously people like check you properly, right? And I'm grateful that I've had many people in my life to like mentor me and guide me in the right path and just to keep me grounded. I'm glad that I had like obstacles that like where I don't know how to explain this. Like I'm just glad I had obstacles and people to mentor me.
What were some of those obstacles?
I feel the biggest obstacle was like the comments. Like some of the comments got to me. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes people just talking mad shit, and I was like,
recently or before?
Before, and even like people in the city like kind of talking here and there. Like
what are they saying?
They were just like kind of like laughing, like, am I influence? I wasn't purposely trying to be an influencer. Honestly, it just turned into be then like people were just, some barbers in the city were just posting like these like, you know how other barbers would make like these reels of barbers being influencers, like walking in the shop and like click and record. And it's funny, like I'm not gonna lie, but like honestly some barbers I look up to were posting that, and I knew at that point my reels were blown up because other barbers were telling me like, bro, my client wants your hair, my client like likes this and that. So I knew like some barbers were posting that, and like it's like there's one person specifically that I like, kind of heard from, and honestly I use that as motivation. But we're still boys to this day, but I knew like kind of hurt a little bit, like because like I look up to him so much, and I'm like, wow,
Damn, what was that
Yeah.
feeling like?
It was like, damn, like,
Can you explain like the situation, like how it was? So that you're just scrolling your phone and you just see it, or was it
Yes.
like a specific sort of instance?
it was just, I was scrolling through my phone, I saw it, then after people were sending me in, like, because
Was it directed at you?
I don't know, like, I took it as that. I feel like I probably took it as that because, like, like our relationship kind of fumbled a little bit as soon as I started making
Gotcha.
the content and all that. So, like, kind of just hurt, you know?
Fair.
But that was like that was your reason to prove him wrong.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was a moment that checked me that I'm gonna keep getting it, you know?
Yeah.
So, and like, I had another reason, like, when I went to the biggest barber expo in the world, like, obviously, I seen so many talented barbers, and like, as soon as I got there, and I was like, okay, yep, I'm not where I want to be yet. That was another moment where I'm like, I need to work,
Yeah.
and like, so moments like that is I feel like everybody needs. You know what I mean?
So how do you stay humble but still keep that mentality of like, I know what I'm doing, and this is not, obviously I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm gonna get there eventually. Like, you know what you're doing, but you haven't achieved it yet. How do you build a mindset of like, I'm gonna get there one day?
The tough question, because honestly, I feel like the mindset comes from just going through trial and error all the time, and like knowing that like I've overcame many obstacles, that I'll overcome this one. And I know it'll always happen till the day I die, that I'll overcome obstacles and obstacles and obstacles until I'm 6 feet in the ground. So, and no matter what, I'll always be evolving, regardless of what status I have, how much money I have, like what brand I build, you know? I know that it'll always be like that. Let's say like I have like, you know, what every barber wants, like a whole bunch of barber shops and that, but I know there'll be more obstacles when I have those barber shops, or when I am sponsored by the like clipper companies. Like, I do have a YouTube channel where I generate income. I know there'll still be obstacles within that, but now it's like, how do I face obstacles, and how do I like really look at those obstacles? I think that's the biggest thing, right? You can either fumble and fold, or you can just like grow from it and try to find a solution to that problem. Because like, for me, I'm not a big fan of like, I can't do it type person. You know, I'm in the Kobe mentality. Like, regardless, I don't care how you're gonna get there. You just gotta get there somehow. Like, figure it out. Like, and that's always how I've been. My mom always told me, you can do anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. And as soon as I started believing in that, that's when everything started coming in. Because she would always remind me, and I'll be like, as I was young, I'm like, oh, whatever, you know what I mean? Then I really started putting my mind to everything I really wanted to accomplish then. Even though it may seem outrageous, but like, I think those are the best ways to like attack it, in my opinion.
Would you still be the person you are today if you didn't have those obstacles?
Oh, 100%. No, not. Definitely need those obstacles to become the person I am today. Because everything was easy, then I'll just be taking everything for granted.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think
Can you talk about one of those obstacles? Except for the hate?
obstacles that you go through.
What was one of the biggest ones where you felt like, damn, I might actually not come back from this?
What was your rock bottom?
Oh, this was kind of personal, but like,
Share as much as you want.
felt like honestly, rock bottom was. I'm trying to think about this one where I actually felt like the world was against me. Probably like 8 months ago. Honestly, like when like I got out of a little relationship, whatever, blah blah blah. That was a hurt, but like my parents were kind of like just questioning a lot of things I was doing, like in terms of like my career. And then after like, I don't know. I just felt I was looking at myself in the mirror. Like, I think that relationship like helped build what it is today. Honestly, because like when you really care about somebody or whatever, blah blah blah. I know it sounds like some like certified lover boy shit, but like that's what it is. I'll be honest.
Lover boys.
I'll be honest. Like that's how like I got. That was the rock bottom that I can remember, is those that breakup. But it wasn't even that long. But like everything that happened towards it, it was just like a whole chaos mess. But I think heartbreak definitely makes.
I'm there with you, brother.
Bro,
I'm
heartbreaks
there.
make you.
I'm there. We're all there.
If you're heartbroken,
Why do you think we're doing the show?
exactly, getting yourself heartbroken. That shit actually like does something to a man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you just like start moving different, and then like you start growing a little bit more for some reason. You start getting a little jack. You start getting,
Yeah, hell yeah.
you start like just like wanting to level up. But even before that, like I think the other biggest obstacle was like what was the biggest obstacle before that? I think it was just like just trying to grow my clientele probably before that. Like when like nobody was coming to me and like that was the other obstacle that I faced. But also COVID, or as barbers, you were trying to figure that stuff out. Like that's when I was like, all right, man, I gotta figure something out. Cause like I wasn't cutting hair during COVID. Like I was, but then yeah, I think that COVID was obviously the second biggest obstacle. But doing hair school in COVID was hard too. Because I was just like I'm doing hair, but I'm not actually doing hair on a human. So it's just kind of like everyone's 6 feet apart, blah blah blah, this and that. Then yeah.
Damn, man.
But heartbreaks help you grow.
They do. They put a chip on your shoulder, man.
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
you lose a part of yourself, now you gotta rebuild that self with something
Exactly.
else.
It's funny how the people that you love the most are the ones that like probably inspire you in a negative way.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
well. Like even you talk about how your parents were like doubting you for a second. I'm
Yeah.
the same way, brother. Like there's moments in my journey here that are like people were doubting, and in fact, the people that I wish supported me the most were actually the ones doubting.
Exactly.
And that hurts to a much deeper level. I'm okay with a random person online being like, "Yo, you suck," but then when someone close to you is like saying that, then that makes you think differently, right? We're very similar, all of us in this room here, in terms of mindset of we're gonna go get it, we're gonna go get it. But then, and no matter what anyone says, but it's something about when someone you really care about says it.
Yeah.
Then it matters a little bit more. Then you start actually sort of doubting yourself. You still got that belief long term, but for a brief moment, you're like, "Hey, am I meant to do this?"
Yeah.
And I understand. And thanks for sharing, man. Because that's what I think a lot of people will go through is that up and down. We talk about some of the low points. What about some of the high points?
Exactly.
What are some of the moments when you were at the top of the mountain?
For me personally?
Yeah, for you personally.
Top of the mountain, honestly, I felt at top. There's moments where I felt at top, but also went down after.
That's how it goes.
But I would say
It's a roller coaster.
I just have these visions in my mind, okay, like I want to accomplish this by this point. Because when the new year started, I'm like, okay, I'll reward myself once I do these certain things. And like, so the biggest reward was like going up on stage and like just doing my thing and just like
Stage for what?
stage for the RBC Convention Center where it was called Glam Gathering, where a whole bunch of hairstylists were there, and like we all teach a haircut, and then also go to the biggest barber expo in the world was also on my bucket list, which I did in 2 days. Like I don't know how I was still awake, but I was just doing it, you know. So I think those were the high points, and also obviously my social media not say blowing up locally, like doing pretty well. People were like, I remember the best. I knew like it felt really good when I was at Costco with my mom, and like some lady was like, "Oh, you're that barber from Instagram," and from my mom. And I was like, "Yes."
Told you. Told you.
I told her, Mom. I told you. It's working.
Can you say it one more time? One more time. Just
one more time.
One more time. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. And also today, actually, in the morning time, my mom was like, "Oh, like her coworker called her, right, and said that since I cut her coworker's kids, they were like." Her coworkers' kids' friends at West K were saying how like, they're getting he got cut up by a famous barber. I'm like, who's a famous barber? Like you. I'm like, no, I'm not a famous barber. I just know how to work Instagram a little bit. You know what I mean? And like I think that point, like my mom's coworker telling my mom that was like, damn, it's working. And some kid at the Tim Hortons yesterday was also, he took a picture with me and I was like, nice. Yeah. I was like, what am I doing? like what's happening right now? It's like everything what I want is happening, but like you know what you said, when you manifest so much, like kind of like loses something, but like it's like wow, like it's
just getting started.
Yeah,
You're just
exactly.
getting started.
You're gonna be cutting Drake one day. You're
not even there.
Tory Lanez, by the way.
I'm cutting Tory Lanez when somehow
First day out. First day out.
He gonna need a cut, maybe.
he's gonna need a cut. I'm gonna give him a lineup, or even like I'm gonna clean his neck hairs, but I'm gonna somehow cut his hair.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Bro, you're a barber, but you're also a businessman.
Yeah.
You've been hustling at this business game, and I actually want to apologize to you, and I did not mean to do this, but I was looking like you were coming on the show, and I was like, oh, let me follow this guy. I got a DM from you.
I was hustling hard back
I got a
still.
DM from you 2021, and the DM's like, yo, bro, I'm just trying to get more clients on my page.
Yeah.
I'll do a cut for like $5 off or something.
Like
and
that.
I feel so bad now.
No, don't
that you just left into requests, but I was like, oh shit.
No,
but we were talking about this before. You've been hustling.
Bro, trust me, I've been hustling like that. I still am to this day. Like,
so let's talk about it. Let's talk about business sides, acquiring clients, getting people in your chair. Content, obviously, content's one side of it, and we'll talk about content. But let's talk about strictly barbering and getting people in that chair. How do you get people in that chair?
Honestly, just being a genuine nice person is one thing, right? Because people won't remember that you gave them the most blurriest, coolest fade ever, but people will remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And that you listen, because a lot of barbers don't listen. Because I'd say like 60-70% is how you make them feel. Like I've seen people who don't get a crazy haircut, but like good behind the chair, conversationalists, clean, polite, respectful, are fully booked 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a service.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's a service.
It's a service. You're not just providing a haircut. You're providing therapy. You're providing
exactly.
You're providing guide talk. You're providing like everything that you don't see a barber do. You're trying to provide that. Do you ever feel that pressure of when the client sits down in the chair and expects you to be the top class rather than just a barber?
Top class in terms of
like have a good conversation with me, give me like a good pick me up, and like
I'm pretty good at reading people and like when to just like chill out a little bit or what to talk a bit more. I think that's one thing that like definitely helped me talk more individually, because I used to stutter a lot as a kid. I still do because I get so excited. Probably stuttered a few times on this podcast, not gonna lie, but like it's just like I was always afraid to public speak and talk in front of a crowd, but like barbering definitely helped me with that, and like I'm super grateful for it, because now I can like go on the road and talk to anybody anybody, you know what I mean, and be like not make it awkward, and like I was always kind of shy as a kid, so.
I'm curious about the tactics that you used. What are some crazy or insane to get people in that chair? I don't know, we were looking through some of your stuff. You handed out business cards, what are list them out rather. Like when you first started, obviously you got your friends, but outside of your friends, how'd you grow that clientele?
So for obviously friends with their mouth, which was cool too, but also like wherever I went, I was letting them know that I'm a barber. I was letting them know through business cards. I'm like, oh, nice. Who cuts your hair? Your hair looks really dope. Like I feel like I could do something cool with it. Giving the free haircuts too at that. Facebook ads. Like I was on Facebook Market when I first started my career. I was busting that list. All my shit was on there, and just trying to make it professional as possible. But man, it probably sounded whack, honestly. But
what were some of the ads?
It was just $15 haircut or some shit like that. But
people blowing it. Is this still available at 2
o'clock
in the morning?
And actually, it was funny. I forgot to delete that. Some people are still texting me about that, so I deleted the ad 2 months ago, because I was like, I don't no longer do that. I don't longer charge that much. But I think just posting ads, of course, letting people know I'm a barber. Just talking to a lot of people, and just hopefully they come in my chair. Just being kind of genuine. And going, obviously, nightlife is one big thing.
Because at the end of the day, it's a culture, right?
Yeah, it's a culture.
Barbering is a culture where, from the clothes that you wear to the shoes that you rock to your lifestyle, it all kind of intertwines. Would you say that intertwines with putting clients in the chair?
Yeah.
Or is it basically just word of mouth or your content game at the end of the day?
I would say it's definitely how you present yourself and your aura will attract people in your chair. That's the biggest one, because you can see through different barbers' auras and aesthetics, they attract that clientele, right? And I'm super grateful that in the beginning it was that, but now my content is doing its thing. I'm super grateful for it. I have multiple people from different avenues and aesthetics and careers being in my chair, and it's just dope to see and have different conversations on different walks of life, because everyone's different. Everyone has a story. Everyone looks at the world a different way, and I'm I just want to see why they look at it that way,
Sorry, I was just gonna say, it's insane how outside of barbering, there's so many skills associated
100%.
with barbering.
Yeah.
What, you mentioned, being able to speak, being able to listen. What are some other skills that you learned through the journey of barbering?
Being a businessman as well, entrepreneur, because
100%, yeah.
see, you gotta promote yourself. How you gonna promote yourself?
It's marketing.
And like find an accountant, do all this boring stuff that like nobody else wants to do, and like how can you upsell, like sell product and stuff like that, and like find ways to make income through online, which I'm currently doing right now. So like I can really hone in on the content game and like step like maybe a day off behind the chair and like focus on content, but still make income through online somehow, right? And like there's just so many things that go with it. Like what else? One big one, just like obviously public speaking, like we mentioned, public speaking is a huge one. But but also how to read the room, you know, I think is a big one I was trying to learn still. And yeah, like I think those are the ones I can come off my head right now.
So when did the content come into this play? Like, when did you start realizing, let me start vlogging until I hit 100K? Like, that line alone, it was just like, the first time I saw the video, I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Where's this going?
Yeah. Like, let me see this guy fail. Like, selfishly.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, yo, like,
100%.
I don't think he's going to do it, but let me see.
So it came from this, I forgot this guy, but he was doing like, this guy was vlogging. He's vlogging every day until he becomes a millionaire. He's another barber, but he went from his account from maybe like 80K to 1.3 million like span of 6 months. And like he was vlogging every day, like showing his lifestyle. And my mentor was talking about this. My mentor Alexi was saying like how I like vlogging, right? Like showing my day in life. Why don't I just hop on this wave? And I'm like, okay, but it'll keep me accountable. And also I do enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And like the 100K is cool and all, but like I'm doing it for the journey, you know?
Yeah.
And like I know I'll hit that journey, I just don't know when. But I'm just trying to hit as fast as possible. You know what I mean? So, but like I know like it'll eventually come. It'll eventually come, and like I just gotta be patient, just keep working hard and finding like new ways to make it more creative and better, but also still like informative and like entertaining.
What does a day look like for you?
A day, so
Like, what is a day in the life in a barber?
So-
We've watched your videos.
So,
but we don't hear it the
honestly,
first time.
usually wake up around, I start work around 10 usually all the time, 10 till 8, 10 till 7, depending if I take a squeeze in or not. So the morning I do my typical, like I just wake up, do all my like skincare, like find my outfit, clean my face, do my hair, have my little oatmeal. Always stop by coffee shop. The key thing is coffee shop in the morning is key. Either Tim Hortons, Clismo, Ma's Coffee, Starbucks.
Brand deal. Get this man a
Like,
brand
get
deal.
me a brand deal, please. Trying to get sponsored out here. But like, always coffee in the morning because it just like, it helps you just like get the day started and get the little caffeine in there, get going. Always like, I'm in the car, like listening to a podcast or whatever. A podcast or Tory Lanes, that's what I keep it at.
Nice.
No other artist.
Nice.
But yeah, just then go to work and just like, I pretty much do everything but vlog it and find different ways of vlog, like angles I do.
Cool.
And yeah, then I hustle like about 10 to 12 clients from the span of 10 to like 7 or 8 or maybe even 14 depending if I can squeeze them in quicker. But I vlog the haircuts that will be more appealing, like the transformation haircuts.
Got you.
Or like what they do for a living, you know what I mean? Because people will be more attracted towards that than like a simple like, oh, like a number 1, no, a number 2, number 3, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then after work I either hit the gym and I just edit content. I do that like 5-6 days a week and just keep going.
Damn, bro.
But like sometimes obviously I have my fun where like I'll do all that but somehow still go out and not sleep for like 4 hours, but like I still vlog.
Yeah.
So like it just depends, but that's usually what I do on a day-to-day basis. But also I go on like Zoom meetings twice a week with my mentor to see how I'm doing in the business and obviously within content and like
Nice.
tweak a few things. Yeah, like I try when I have free time I try to spend it with my little sister. But yeah, my days are pretty boring, honestly. I feel like that's how it's
100%, yeah.
you gotta keep it consistent because consistency is key, you know what I mean? That's what I found out because I was doing this challenge called 75 Day Hard but with content, and around like for the first maybe like 50 days I was not getting nothing. Like it was kind of getting there, but like around day like 55, 58, that's when I started going.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Like, yeah, I can semi-relate. I started a running journey.
Love
and the daily content kind of thing is something new, and I've learned a new amount of respect for people who produce content on a daily basis, and especially good quality content on a daily basis, right? Like I remember when I was young, I used to watch like daily vlogs, and those used to be like 16, 18 minutes, and like people are like working around the clock to get these things up, and sometimes I'm up at 9, like I do the run late at night, 11 p.m., and I gotta get it up for 12 and just make sure that day's done. But I think that whole world of like that marketing side or that business side is very, like, you can almost say it's like a trend right now, but it basically just comes down like what you said. It's consistency. It's consistency over a long period of time, and there's no way it's not going to work in that sense.
Exactly, 100%. And like I believe in that so heavily. Like I say to my head, consistency is key. I don't care how bored or how stale it feels right now, Jestoni, just keep going, you know? Because like what you guys are doing right now, like 150.
Yeah, you'd be 141. So
141, like that's like straight up keep going until like
until it works.
We're not stopping.
Works.
We're gonna do this for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Professional yappers over here.
100%. I feel you. I'm a professional yapper too.
No, it's the. I lived this recently too with. I didn't do the daily content, but I was just posting daily stories in November. It was just like a mile a day in November, but it's literally a formula. I would like to say it's an equation of the work you put in equals the output that you get out. It's direct correlation of whatever the amount of work that you put in, that's the amount of work or the effort that you're gonna get out, right? It's
100%.
like, so if you want to be the best barber, you got to put in the hours that require to be the best barber, right?
100%.
And I think that comes from the mindset of sports too. It's very, it's driven from the first day you kick a soccer ball to the first day you like run a track, 100 meters, right? It's like, if you want to be faster than Usain Bolt, you got to do something different than Usain Bolt, right? So
100%, I feel that. And just always try, like, this one thing that my first mentor taught me was, gotta go kill. You know what I mean? You gotta go get it regardless, like, but in the most respectful way possible. But you gotta make sure you're like doing everything in your ability to be the best at what you do. Like, obviously, like health wise, cutting hair wise, how you talk to clients, how you do this and that. Like, every detail matters. You know, and I'm still trying to learn that to this day because I'm human. I'm not perfect. We all are, right? I still have my flaws, but you know, just consistency is key. I feel like that's big.
Do you ever feel guilty for taking a day off? Like, what if you just want to sit there and watch Grey's Anatomy?
I'm the worst for that. I cannot sit down for the life of me. Like, if I have a day off, I just feel it's probably bad, but like I just like I have to do something.
Yeah,
same way.
It's like I can't just sit there anymore. You know?
Yeah, you don't watch movies, do you?
I don't watch. I can't sit for 5 minutes.
Same. Yeah. No way we're watching a movie. No way we're watching a movie.
Cars?
Yeah,
I'm
like
just kidding. It's it's a really big aspect that we talk about in this podcast too. Is like the mindset of always going to wanting to do something.
Yeah.
It could be positive or it could be negative.
Yeah,
too.
I'm literally both. Like, like just wanting more. I feel like
you once you flip the switch, you can't turn it off. 100%. It's so hard to like.
What's some of the side effects of this? So obviously there's the positive side effects.
Yeah.
You achieve your goals, the manifestation, things that you've dreamed of. Is there a side of this, or have you experienced a side where maybe burnout is a thing? Maybe you have gone a little too hard and you're like, oh, this is horrible in the opposite way.
I've burnt myself out so many times, but I also picked myself back up so many times. And I'm burnt out right now. I definitely don't feel the greatest, but like I know that I know how to overcome a burnout. And I know it's through like just consistency and being positive, like being like everything. Oh, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm just like, okay, gotta keep going and know exactly what I want. I just gotta tell myself that every day it's gonna be okay, and I'll get through it.
In terms of light at the end of the tunnel, there is light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel never ends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna keep chasing
the tunnel never ends. We say this all the time. Like everything's gonna turn out wonderfully. We're gonna chase it. We're gonna live our lives, but we're never gonna be satisfied. Like there's always gonna be, the tunnel's just gonna keep getting longer and longer, and we're just gonna keep chasing. Do you think you'll ever be satisfied at something? Like, what is your I've made it moment? Do you have an I've made it moment? When can you be like, Jestoni, I've done it. I've done it.
I think I don't really have a specific I made it moment, but I feel like I'll definitely hit me when I'm on a crowd in a crowd like teaching, like on stage for my favorite clipper company. And I'm teaching a haircut. Like my mom's watching, my dad's watching, and it's in front of all these barbers that like are trying to get it as well. And I think that will probably be a moment where I'll be like, wow, it's really happening. But for right now, besides that moment, I'm still trying to, go towards it. And I got a little snippet of that moment when I taught at that class or convention like 2 weeks ago. But it still hit the spot. But like, I want it bigger. You know what I mean? I just want it bigger, more people, and like to have a bigger name and people and just inspire more. So.
But then will you stop after that?
Oh no, 100%. No, I won't.
way.
But I think that's the only moment in my head I can think of where I'd be like decently satisfied.
Got you.
Do you think the reason you're so driven and you want to do the next big thing and you want to chase the next big idea or manifest the big idea is because you want to do it for your parents?
I think a part of it is like having to like, just like do it, like not do it for them, but like make them proud.
Yeah.
I know they're always gonna be proud of certain things I do, but I really want that moment of like where it's like, wow, like my mom's like, I know my mom's like, you can just tell with that mom smile, you're like, all right, yep.
Like my son did that.
Yeah, like I want that moment so bad, and like I feel like there's no better other moment when I even told my mom that I'm gonna be doing it, and like can't lie to her, you know what I mean?
100%.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think
It's like till you buy your mom a house.
yeah, exactly. My mom already has a house, so yeah.
Metaphorically.
But like I know what you mean. I know
In
what you
Monopoly.
mean. Yeah.
Run around, go.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you see in terms of the future of the world of barbering? Like, this is just something I've observed, but would you be cutting hair the rest of your life?
Not behind the chair, for sure. Not behind the chair for the rest of my life. I'm definitely trying to do more of like educational working classes in the future, and more like content of traveling around the world and like vlogging, like me cutting hair in Dubai or in India or like Philippines, like showcasing that to other people. But I don't see myself doing 12, 15 haircuts a day for much
insane,
longer,
bro. One standing that long, and then two also sit. When I go to my barber, I'm like, you've had this exact same conversation probably 20 times already.
Oh, 100%.
Like, how's the basketball game? We were like, I know for a fact you had the exact same conversation, but yet every time we go, enthusiastic and ready to talk, like always on kind of mentality. And I'm sure you feel the same way as well. Like, how many times can you talk about how bad the Lakers are doing until you're like,
yo, exactly. I know. How long can you talk about Drake and Kendrick? Talked about this from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But like, I'll still keep talking about it, So, yeah.
Damn, bro. Is there a place where you have your own shop, or a world where you have your own shop, or have other barbers under you, and that educational piece is also there? Sort of like what some of your mentors in the city have already done.
I feel I want to create my value much more, because opening a shop, to be honest, is like, it's hard, but like you can get a loan from the bank and open a shop, and like, oh, people think that's like the cool thing, like, wow, you made a lot of money. But respectfully, there's so much more behind the business side of opening a shop that goes like
what?
Like, for example, like taking care of a whole bunch of people is the biggest thing. Obviously, the expenses, the rent, utilities, like random HVAC stuff in like that costs expensive. That's expensive too, right? I just don't want to deal with that just yet.
Got you.
But I just want to create my like status first and create my credibility. Credibility is the biggest one. No one's gonna listen to you if you're not credible, right? Like you can be like the talk of the town barber, but like people like seeing that Instagram number. You know what I mean? People like seeing what you have to offer. It's like when you go on Tinder, you know what I mean? People like to see what you have to offer through those pictures and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think credibility is the most important one. But I want to have that credibility not through only my Instagram, but through like, let's say like my like education classes, you know what I mean? Like teaching other people, like getting stuff like this, a podcast, Like honestly, I actually manifested like my bed that I want to be on 204 Rides podcast. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be on there. You know what I mean?
When?
I was like,
call you out here. When?
No, it's because like, when like I saw Regan on there, I was like, yo, I'm gonna be on there.
Ah.
Yeah, I saw Regan. I'm like, yo, they did Regan on there.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I did one of those, so I'm like, okay, bet. Yeah, so
We are honored. We are honored. With,
cause I saw Regan, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on there. Trust, watch me.
welcome, brother. Well,
like,
welcome
you're
back.
here,
Come
you're
back.
here.
Let's
I'm
run
like,
it. Let's run it back.
I kind of forgot about it. Then after I'm like, yo, like I remember Regan, like when you guys asked me, I'm like, yo, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That just made my whole week.
Yeah, literally. And there's so many small things like that. Like I manifested, you know what I mean? Like,
It's crazy the power of manifestation and what it
Yeah.
can do for your life.
100%.
I strongly encourage everyone listening to it. It's like, look, you don't have to. I think manifesting is one thing, but also like doing the work. Like do the work. Like it's
Yeah, exactly.
it's. I think a lot of people like I used to myself before this podcast. It was, yo, I'm gonna start this clothing company. It's gonna be the best clothing company in the world. I never did anything to implement that strategy. I never did anything to make that company happen. But being able to kind of stick to your word and put in the right steps to achieve the goal, it's a different feeling. Like I think it's a very fulfillment of
Yeah.
like, yo, I did this shit. Like not anyone else. Like
Yeah,
I did this shit. And it's just
Exactly.
like it's a feeling you can't describe.
I know. And there's like milestones. Like for me, like when my mentor was talking to me too, like you always want small milestones. Like this is another small milestone in my journey, but you always be chasing those milestones until you're wow, you kind of hit your like goal that you kind of the big goal, you know. But you kind of forget about the big goal and you kind of achieve the milestones first. So that's what I'm kind of the mindset I'm in. Like I manifested my big goal, but there's milestones I want to hit. You know, obviously 100K is a small milestone. Like who cares if you have 100K followers? You know, I can buy 100K
but that's what I was gonna
I could
say.
buy 100K followers, but like, how many of those 100K people fuck with me? You know, the
Yeah.
biggest thing. And like, I'm starting to realize a lot of people are starting to fuck with me heavy, and like, I'm super grateful for it because I fuck with everybody too. You know what I mean? Part of my language, but pause. Hold on. That'd be a good hook, actually. Yeah,
This man understands content.
yeah, that'd be a good hook. You're welcome. But yeah, like just small milestones here and there, then you get the big goal.
Yeah, I'm talking about credibility. Yeah, you mentioned it briefly. Like anyone can buy followers. It's not anyone can look the part, but are you actually the part? Like you said, do people fuck with you?
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
people respect you? Do people want to be around you? Are you leaving an impact?
Exactly.
That's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game. I want to ask in terms of advice, right? So you probably have a lot of people coming through you for advice,
A lot of hair advice, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Because and it's almost a full circle moment because at one point you were asking for advice.
And I still am asking for advice.
Exactly.
A lot of advice still.
So what do you tell people when they come to you? What are you saying to them?
Depends what they ask.
Let's say someone's trying to get into the world of barbering, right? They see you blown up. They were in the same position you were when you went to Famos,
Yeah, so
when you went to Scott.
first thing I tell them is absorb as much knowledge as you can as a barber and try to find a good mentor and get in a barber shop. Because the basement cuts are cool until you have a whole bunch of cash and you don't know what to do with it. That's when you get fucked over. That's when you like don't know what to, and like you can be basement barber for all you want, but like how are you gonna grow from that and be really hone in like the professionalism of talking to other people instead of just talking to your boys and your boys. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think always being a sponge and getting yourself a good mentor is the biggest thing I could give out to new barbers in the industry.
How does that mentoring work in barber related businesses? I'm curious about that because in general world, like, yeah, you could start a company and get a mentor to help you with that. But what's the mentorship look like in barbering?
Obviously, like what I said, we're going back to credibility, right? What
Right.
credibility they have behind them. First, for me, is Famos because I wanted free haircuts from him, saw what he did, then he just slowly became my mentor, my
Right.
big brother. Then you just see the credibility, what they have, and what I want to take from them and tune into my own stuff. I don't have to be exactly like them, but I can take in what they have, what I like from them, and put it into my own craft and create my own oneself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They say like who you know is almost worth more than how much you know, or net
100%.
worth, or sorry,
Yeah.
Networking.
network, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever I just said.
Yeah. I feel like you have to network a lot and know how to talk your way in there, you know? It's like when you're going to a bar, you gotta finesse your way in there somehow, you know?
I remember before this podcast, when we used to, people always used to say, oh, you just got to connect with people. Like you find a mentor, connect with these high individuals and just like soak up as much information. I always used to be like, yeah, but like, how do I do that? Like I'm in high school. How do I connect with the Jeff Bezos of the world?
Yeah.
But you have to realize it's not going to happen tomorrow, right? It's not going to happen right away. Especially to have those connections. And so especially with the podcast, we're very fortunate we get to speak with people like yourself and pretty much soak up information and let the world see that as well. But it doesn't happen overnight, and you are probably a testament to that as well. How many nights when you've been grinding, how many days you've been grinding, you see no results whatsoever.
Yeah, trust me, this happens all the time, and you kind of get discouraged, but like you just gotta keep going, and like, yeah, just like consistency is key. And I have it actually on tattoo. I mean, nobody cares work harder, because at the end of the day, nobody cares how hard you work. Nobody cares about how like sleepless your nights are. Look at Anthony Edwards, man. This guy blown up. You know what I mean? Like, like nobody cared about his backstory until now. You know? Yeah. Obviously, he's the #1 draft pick, but he wasn't making noise until now.
Oh no, of course.
Exactly.
And they're gonna win it. So.
And they're gonna kill, bro.
Well, I saw his. Who were they playing? Denver, right?
Yeah.
The Unlimited. Dude, that game was insane.
I know.
Great game. But you just got the hustle mentality. Like I think a lot of it does come from ball as well, bro. Like the Kobe mindset, the Michael Jordan mindset, just going and getting. Like I relate heavy to that as well, and I can tell you do as well.
And it's like, yeah, you're gonna be tired. Yeah, you're gonna not sleep, but like, how bad do you really want it? You know, like. And like some people can make up excuses here and there. I sometimes make up excuses, but I check myself. I know when I'm a kid, I could probably do that. Like extra haircut, I can. Honestly, I'll lose sleep over like right after this. I gotta edit like 2 videos, so probably go to bed at 2 a.m. But honestly, I can wake up at like 7. 100%. But who cares? No, nobody cares. Work harder. So, but
damn, can I ask you like how this like yes we manifest, and obviously I have somewhat of an answer to it as well. But what does this manifestation look like? Are you like doing like affirmations? Like are you looking in the mirror and saying, I'm going to do this, I am this? Or like, what does it look like? Or is it just reflecting in moments and things like that?
Like reflect every week, of course. Reflect every day, like reflect how my week went, this and that. What's the plan for the week on a Monday? Then also I look at myself in the mirror I just look at myself in the mirror and just tell myself that, I'm going to do this.
Like verbally? Like every day?
I legit clap like this and like, we're gonna go get it. You know what I mean? Like
every day?
Yeah, I have to hype myself up so much sometimes.
Yeah. Let's go.
Like I would probably say every single day, but like at least like 5 times a week for sure. That's minimum. Insane. Like because sometimes I'm probably gonna sleep in on a Sunday, maybe till like 9 p.m. Or 9 a.m. Sorry, I'm sleeping till like 9 a.m.
Does it work? When you go
I don't know, it kind of gasses you up because you see the NBA, they're always like, it's like kind of just hypes you up a little bit, you know? So I think
it's like kind of like your moment to like, okay, tune in. Like,
let's tune in.
Walk in.
Yeah. You're in the tunnel. You're about to come out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's game 7. Game's on the line.
Game 7.
Every day's game 7.
Oh, 100%. And the rent is due every day, so you should.
There you go.
Was there ever a moment in your journey where you were like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah, for sure. I had multiple times like that where like it was like, what am I really doing? Am I really just doing it for like, I don't know, like it was mainly during COVID, honestly. That was when I was like, am I really going to do this? Because like, what the hell's going on? You know, like the world really going to like keep doing this thing. But after that, I was pretty much fine. Like, honestly, I had burnout moments where I'm like, I just cannot cut hair for at least a day. And I just need to go sleep for like at least 8 hours, you know? So, but
what's it like when the first big checks come in, or the money comes in from barbering, and you mentioned like you got a lot of money in the basement, but what are you gonna do with it? Like what are those moments like?
That's crazy. I wish I saved a lot of it. Not gonna lie. I don't know. Like obviously, when I was like 20, where my money started really coming in. Like the cash money was cool. I was making a lot of money for my age at the time. But when I started making the big boy money, it was probably 2 years ago. We're like, I gotta somehow like figure this out, because like your boy can't be like buying like random stuff anymore. You know what I mean? Like, but it was just more like,
What'd you buy?
I was tapping my card like there was no tomorrow. Like on random stuff like clothes. Biggest thing was clothes, honestly, and traveling quite a bit. Like going on travel trips, like and the rest I can't say on camera because my mom's watching. But yeah. So, but like I've got way better ever since I joined the mentorship program, I got better at it because they would make you like track your expenses, like every single one, and like I would have like a small like a mentor within the mentorship program who'd check on me like every day. I was like, nah, I can't lie to this motherfucker, man. He's gonna hate me right now. So yeah, I'm grateful for those people who check on me.
What was the conscious decision to spend money on a mentor? Like you said, you just spent like 10 grand to like do this stuff. Like why?
Because obviously I want to gain new clients. I wanted to build my Instagram.
Yeah.
And just I wanted to like learn how people were gaining new clients so much. And like honestly, the way he was explaining it, the way he advertised like how to make 20K in a month as a barber, and I was like, that kind of appealed to me. I was like, okay, cool. And like I have made quite a bit of money, but I haven't made 20K yet. So still on my way there, but like
This is per month, I assume.
yeah, per month.
Yeah.
And like also the mentality that the mentorship have brought to like the barbers I talked to who were in it, like I've seen their growth from like when they kind of started to where they are now, and like I'm like, damn, I want to hop on that. And like I knew it wasn't only for the money part, but it was for like to see the transformation of the other barbers, like my peers who were in the mentorship program as well. I was like, okay, cool, I want that too.
Did you have like some sort of like resentment, or not resentment, nervousness going in? Like 10 grand's a lot of money, right? Like you just and especially for something that you may not know is going to guarantee you success. Were you nervous about that purchase, or were you just like, no, honestly, I'm gonna get something out of it. This is gonna happen.
I knew that I was gonna get something out of it, so I wasn't really too nervous.
Gotcha.
And I'm grateful that I made that money back in the first month. So it kind of like was cool. You bet. And I was like, yeah, like I'm usually I was planning it though. I was like pros and cons of like joining the mentorship program, and I seen the cons, and there wasn't many cons. There were more pros. So I'm like, a lot of money. Not gonna lie, had to kind of eat cup noodles, for a little bit, but
oh damn.
but I'm glad it worked out, and
now we're eating steak and lobster.
Not yet, but like
we're getting there.
I'm still eating like spam and rice, in the morning. Filipino breakfast. Shout out Grassmere.
Coffee shop.
Yeah.
If you were to leave this conversation today and say like, damn, I wish this boys asked me this question, or I wish I touched on that, so the people at the world, or so I can look back in 2 years and be like, damn, I really said that, or really did that. Like, what's something you'd want to leave the world with? Or leave this podcast with?
Leave this podcast with?
That was deep.
Well, it's getting pretty deep. Honestly, like I'm glad I had some manifestation like goals within this podcast, and like
say them all. What's something crazy? What's something crazy you got? Just say it. What's
like,
a manifestation that you crazy? You say you want to cut Tory Lane's hair. What else?
Biggest one, I'm gonna become a brand ambassador for Babeless Clippers one day, and my mom and my parents, little sister, my whole family's gonna watch me, and I'm gonna generate income off social media.
Let's go.
And
clip it.
Yeah. So
any advice you can leave the audience with, whether they're chasing entrepreneurship, barber, or vlogging, content creation, any advice you can give to the listeners?
Listeners, stay consistent. Remember, it's not going to happen tomorrow. Make sure you try to improve yourself daily. Like, because those daily, like, improvements will create like the bigger goal. I know how to word it properly. And yeah, at the end of the day, like, keep working. Nobody really cares. So keep working. Like, that's how I look at it every day, as like, I could be like injured, I could be sick. Like I came into work sick, but I had my mask on. I texted all my guys, it was cool if I cut your hair, but I'm a bit sick. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, like I literally had bronchitis. I was dying, but don't worry, like wearing a mask and all that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like I don't know. To me, it's like I look at the world as like nitty and gritty. Like you just gotta
get in there.
You just gotta get in there. Like,
Just gotta do the work.
Like nobody's gonna do it for you. Nobody's gonna hand everything towards you. You just gotta use your resources properly. And I think that's how it is.
Beautiful.
All right. On that note, I think this is the best way to end the podcast. Thank you so much, brother, for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Let's go.
Sharing your journey with us. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll check out Jestoni. We'll tag everything in the description below. Peace.
Peace. Let's go. Yes, sir.